How are we on audio now? I was told couldn't be heard. Could you not hear me at all?
I think I can hear you now. Good.
Okay, do-over. Here, we thought we worked out all our technical issues, and then we got it all fixed, and then I forgot to turn the mic on. So now it's on. So I'm Les Raymond with the Mindful Movement. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for joining me this morning for a brief movement and breath practice to start your day. I'm going to focus on the foundational aspects of movement today. So there's 5 patterns that I consider foundational to human movement: rolling, crawling, walking, hinging, and squatting. And I find that focusing on these as like a regular practice creates a foundation for you to put everything on top of later, like every aspect of movement throughout the rest of your life, whether it be daily activities or hobbies or sports or whatever. And we're going to just try to nourish some of the concepts within these foundational patterns today. We're going to start off with a little breathing. We'll do this from a seated upright position, and then we'll finish with a little breathing from a relaxed position. Now, if there's any part of this practice that doesn't feel right in your body, then just listen to your body instead of me, and make sure that you are serving yourself well through this practice. All right, so first checking in with your posture, just get a sense of the upright nature of your spine today. Maybe get a sense of your spine and how it relates to the space around it. Like imagine observing your spine from all the angles around you and what that looks like. Maybe going inward, see if you could connect with the relationship between the bottom of your spine and the top of your spine. Think maybe your tailbone and the crown of your head. Just ever so gently reaching away from each other. All right, now we're going to use our fingers for some feedback here. You're going to take your thumbs on the squishy part of your back, below your ribs, above your pelvis, and your index or middle fingers on the front side of the belly there, so below the ribs, above the pelvis. And give yourself a real gentle squeeze here. So don't hurt yourself here, just a little tactile feedback. And with the mouth closed and the tongue gently pressed on the roof of the mouth, we're going to breathe in through the nose into these 4 points. So what we're hoping for is a fairly equal, balanced push in all 4 points that is being created by your fingers here. And we're going to look for a fairly even meter. So think of somewhere between in 4, out 4, or in 5, out 5, out in 6, out 6. Something in there that feels comfortable for you. And for the next minute or so, just connect with that. In, out. And while remaining tall, just try to connect with the sensation of your breath against those 4 points. And if they don't feel even, no need to get upset or judge. Just see if there's anything you can do internally to make this expansion a little bit more even and balanced. We'll do a few more cycles here. removing your fingers and just taking another breath or two without that feedback, and see if you can get the same sensation. Can you have the same balanced feel of your breath? When I say balanced, like the space that it's taking up inside the body. Nice three-dimensional expansion. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and lay down our back. And we're going to start with something referred to as 3-month position. And this is a little harder than it looks. We're going to start off by just getting in touch with our pelvis a little bit here. So for those that are familiar with terminology, we're going to be looking for a shift, a posterior shift of the pelvis. And what this should create is a connection between the low back and the floor. And just move in and out of that position. And you don't have to force this really hard. So think of moving with a little finesse and not like brute force. Now, one of the tendencies here is as you go into that tilt to lose the chin, and think of the chin and the head tilting up. And I want to account for that. So think of the relationship of your head on the floor not changing. So the contact point of where your head is resting on the floor, as I tilt my pelvis, it doesn't change. So there's a sense of maybe the length in the back of the neck to maintain that head position. Now on your next repetition, as you posteriorly tilt, and you have that connection with your low back on the floor, so you shouldn't be able to slide your hand between your low back and floor. We're going to bring the right leg up. And what I'm looking for here is the knee to be slightly farther out than the foot. Now here's the hard part. Maintaining that pelvic position. Can you bring the other left leg up to reach, to match? And ideally, we're looking for the tailbone now to be off the ground and a strong connection of the low back into the floor. Checking in with the head, make sure you didn't get the chin to tilt it up. And we're going to try to breathe the same way here. So if you want, you could put your feedback mechanisms back on your belly and your back there and see, can you breathe with the same mechanics from this position? Now there's obviously a lot more work here. If this feels really easy and effortless, then you might be slightly out of position. Try to get the sacrum off the ground, and there's going to be a burden on the musculature in your lower abdominals to hold this position. All right, let's rest. So bring one leg down, then the other leg. We're going to do one more brief set like that, where we're holding that position, which requires some tension, and see if we could maintain a nice, smooth breath pattern as we do it. So again, go ahead and tilt the pelvis, get the low back connected. Bring the left leg up now first. And then let the right leg join. The knees are about shoulder width, but the feet are about hip width. Breathing into the low back, getting that three-dimensional expansion. You could probably guess why this is called 3-month position. When you were about 3 months old, you probably spent some time in this position. And one of the cool things is as hard as this can be, it's surprisingly challenging. When a baby does it, they do it. And nobody really tells them how to do it. Humans are just cool like that. All right, and then coming out of this position. And rest. Okay, we're going to do a real simple roll here. So I'm going to scoot over so I group the roll here. So with the legs down, we're going to bring the right leg in what's called triple flexion. And just go ahead and give yourself a real gentle squeeze here and see what kind of range of motion you have today. Now, The right knee is actively pulling up. With your right arm down by your side on the ground, take your left hand, connect it with that right knee, and think of pushing into your left hand with your right knee. So there's a little tension there. All right, now you're going to take the left arm overhead on the ground. The left leg is nice and active and pushing down into the ground. And pretend your hand is still on the knee and start to move the knee kind of towards your left armpit. And you're going to let your knee cross your midline as far as you can without the right shoulder coming off the ground, without the head coming off the ground. And when it can't go any farther without those coming up, then you're going to let those come up and roll to your belly. Now we're going to come back. So you're going to lift your right leg up off the ground, reach it back across your midline, and come back to where you started. So resetting your feet fairly close together. The left arm is now relaxed overhead on the ground. The right knee comes up, the toes are up. So you have flexion at the hip, the knee, and the ankle. The right arm is on the ground. That's going to kind of help your left leg do the pushing to push the ground down, reach the right leg across the body, and at the last moment, straighten it out as you roll over. Coming back, lifting the right leg, reaching across the midline to come back. We're going to do one more of these on this side. Right leg flexes and reach across nice and smooth, rolling over. Reaching the right leg up and coming back. All right, let's try that on the other side. I'm going to spin around here. All right, so bringing the left knee up, go ahead and give yourself a little tug on the shin or the thigh. Explore the range of motion. Now taking the right hand on the left knee and playing that little push of war there for a moment, just get a little idea of where that knee is going to be driving. All right, now the right arm comes overhead on the ground, left arm is down by your side on the ground. The right leg is the primary pusher here, so it starts to push the ground and starts to push your left leg across your body. And at the last moment, go as far as you can without the left shoulder coming up. And at the last moment, just roll over, let it straighten out. And then lifting the left leg up, reaching across the body to come back. And let's start over. So right arm overhead, relaxed. Left arm down by your side. Left leg comes up. Reach the leg across the body and roll. Left leg coming up, reaching across, back to the starting position, and we got one more here. Right arm overhead, left arm down by our side, left leg comes up, push the ground down with your right leg, and then smoothly pull over. And then coming back, the left leg up, across the body, and back onto your back. Okay, let's go ahead and grab a knee or shin in each hand. A little back massage on the floor, rocking side to side just for a moment. And then we're going to come up into a quadruped position. So the hands are going to be basically right under the shoulders, the knees fairly under the hips. And there's a sense of pushing through the hands, reaching the head up. And we're going to rock back and forth a little bit here. So bringing the hips back and forward. And just trying to control your spine as you move through space here. So the movement is primarily at the hips and the knees. Try to avoid a lot of movement of the back. All right. We're going to crawl a little bit. We're going to take a little step. So what's going to happen here is the left hand and the right knee are going to stay right where they are. And the left leg and the right hand are going to move forward. And they're going to move forward until the left knee touches the left hand. So it's going to look like this. Now we're going to come backwards until the right hand touches the right knee. And we're just going to go forward and back a few times. See if you could have your head up as comfortably as you can, so that strains your neck. And just only have it as high as you can where you're not getting discomfort. Just taking one step forward and one step back. And we'll do one more here. It might feel silly as an adult crawling, or something that looks like crawling, but very useful activity. All right, let's do the other side. So the right hand, well, let's rest for a second. So you can sit back, maybe shake the wrists out for a little bit. All right, let's reset. So the right hand and the left knee are going to be still. The left hand is going to go forward, and the right knee is going to go forward towards the right hand. All right, and now coming back all the way until the left hand touches the left knee. And again, you're trying to control the spine, so everything from the head to the tailbone is relatively still. There will be some movement, but you're trying to minimize that. Just kind of controlling the posture as you move back and forth. Could be a little harder than it looks. Let's do one more rep here. Forward and back. And resetting your feet. Let's go knees a little wide, big toes together. Sit back if you can. And just let the wrists and the shoulders recover from that. If you're not used to spending a lot of time in quadruped and moving from that position, it can feel like a lot at first, but as with anything, if you practice, it'll get much easier. There's a lot of important concepts that we develop when we're a child, when we're an infant, learning how to crawl, and we lose a lot of those concepts as an adult, just from all the time we spend in chairs and whatnot. And reconnecting with them, I really think is important. I think if there was a fountain of youth, it's looking at what the very youthful do and kind of doing what they do. So, you know, whether it's being on the floor, rolling around and crawling, or whether it's being willing to like laugh and cry, or not caring what other people think about them. There's a lot we could learn from very small children. All right, let's start to work our way to a standing position. We're going to come back to that quadruped position. And this time with the toes tucked under, we're going to lift our knees up and push ourselves back with our hips high in the air into a very deep hinge here. Now from here, think of rooting into your feet and pushing straight down to stand up. And then we're going to reverse that. So the hips are going to go straight back to the wall behind you. When they can't go any farther, going to let the head release, reach down for the ground, take small steps, try to make it look easy. Forward, letting the knees come back down, touching, rocking back, rocking forward. We're going to do that again. So the knees come up, walk your hands back towards your feet, hips high in the air, then push down through the feet to stand up. Now the hips are going back. When they can't reach any farther back without losing your posture, then let your posture go. The head comes down, reach for the ground, gently walk forward, gently touch your knees down. We'll do one more, rock back, rock forward, recenter, knees come up, hips go high, and stand up. And this time the hips are gonna go back. We're gonna reach for the floor, but instead of walking forward, we're gonna bring the hips down now into a squat. So if you need, you could let the heels come up. If you can keep them down, then great. If it helps, you could bring your hands up as a counterbalance. But we're going to transition from the squat to the hinge a few times. So letting the hips come back up, little opening the back of the legs there. Hips come back down, head tall. One more, hips up, hips down. And now, instead of passing through that hinge position to stand up, just from the bottom of your squat, push your feet through the floor to stand up. All right. Now, the one pattern we haven't really touched on is this gait pattern, our walking pattern, our primary form of locomotion. And because we don't have a lot of space to work with, we're just going to work on some concepts within that without moving around. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to set up with one foot in front of the other foot, but with your toe, your big toe and your heel touching. Now, the wider your base, the more stable this will be. So the idea here is not to make yourself fall over, but to just be like on the edge of challenge, but a challenge that you can do successfully. Think of the back leg as being your primary standing leg. So that's going to take maybe 80% of your weight. And the front leg is almost like a kickstand. And from here, where we're on the edge, we're going to work on our breathing and maybe some gentle head movements. So what this is going to look like with my left foot is grounded, my right foot is my kickstand. I'm going to put my hands back where they were in the beginning and getting that tactile feedback of my breathing and see, can I breathe well? Can I get that good equal three-dimensional expansion into my fingers while standing up primarily on one leg? Reinforcing just the tallness, pushing down through the back leg, reaching the crown of the head away. All right, now letting your arms come down by your side. Let's start to move the eyes and the head. So with the eyes moving to the right, go ahead and turn your head to the right. See if you could let the body follow now, looking behind you. A little harder than it looks. Now bring the eyes to the left, the head to the left, looking behind you. Let the torso rotate. And we'll do one more of those. So looking right, looking left, and let's do a couple up and down. So eyes come down, look down, eyes come up, look up. One more of these, look down, and look up. All right, let's switch sides. So for me, it's going to be my right foot in the back, really root in, get a nice secure footing with that foot, a sense of maybe grounding, really connecting with the floor below you. The front foot is as narrow as you can be, where you are not tipping over. So there's going to be some maybe shakiness, that's okay, as long as there's not a collapse. And really root in where the back leg is taking most of the load. All right, bringing the fingers up, getting a few breaths. And one side is most likely going to feel more challenging than the other. And that's okay. There's nothing to fix there. You just practice. All right, and then the eyes. So the eyes go to the right, turn to the right, look over the right shoulder, eyes to the left, One more time each way, turning to the right, turning to the left. And then let's do the up and down. So eyes up, look up. Eyes down, look down. One more time here. Up and down. All right. We're going to real quickly work our way back down to a lying position and finish with a few more easy breathings. So let's go down the way that we did through that hinge pattern just to get one more rep of practice. So your feet are about shoulder width apart. Hips are going to go straight back. Hands are just kind of sliding down the legs. When your hips can't reach any farther, go ahead and release the head, reach for the ground. Slowly walk your hands forward, letting the knees come down nice and gently. I'm going to walk you through a tall sit here to work our way down. So from the quadruped position, we're going to lift our knees up. The left hand's going to come up, and we're going to sit the right hip right down between our left foot and our right hand. So just watch that again. We're in the quadruped, the knees come up, just transitioning to a tall sit. All right, from here, we're going to take the right hand, pick it up, and put the right elbow there. And then take the right leg, straighten it out, and start to bring some awareness to your left leg. That left leg is going to help you come down nice and gentle. So with the right arm kind of secure into the ground, the left foot is going to push down and allow yourself to lower to the ground without a big flop. And then we're laying down, back where we started. All right, a few more breaths with your feedback. So put the thumbs back in the squishy part there, in the low back. The index finger on the front, sides of the front of the sides, whatever. Mouth is closed. Tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And breathing into these 4 points. And shoot for that even meter again. Maybe you could get a longer meter. So if you're doing 4 in, 4 out, maybe you're up to 6 in or 7. Just explore what's there for you. Just notice after moving the body if this feels any different. Maybe there's just a little more ease around filling the space. Maybe your exhale falls out. Just a little more sense of relaxation. Okay, removing your hands from there, letting them rest wherever you'd like. For a few final breaths here. I feel that this type of practice is just a great way to kind of check in with the body to start the day. Make sure you're connected with it. Get a sense of feeling connected to your environment. Just nourishing the idea of just navigating your body in this space and feeling what that's like. I hope that felt good. I feel good. I feel ready for the day now. So hopefully that practice accomplished something similar for you. If you have any questions about anything we did today, just send a comment our way. If there's anything that you would like us to focus on in these live sessions, which are now on Friday instead of Thursday, then also just send us a message and we will do our best to accommodate. Thanks for joining my practice this morning, and I hope you all have a great day.